But first up, she is a political commentator and author of Resistance is Futile, How the Trump-hating Left Lost Its Collective Mind. My good friend of me, Ann Coulter, is here. Oh, that's a nice liberal applause for you.
Yeah.
How are you? How are you? You are more powerful. You're like Wonder Woman if Wonder Woman was the villain. But really, all over the news, I hear them talking about the Coulter veto. Whatever Donald Trump does, if you don't say it's okay, no good.
I promise you, the country would be run much better if I had a veto over what Donald Trump.
Well, you kind of do. I mean, he was ready to go along with what they passed on the
No, but this is look, yeah, crazy that I expect a president to keep the promise he made every day for 18 months.
Right.
No, it's not just, it's the base. That's what happened. You had him making this, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at this guy, he's holding the card behind the camera, which is an interesting place to put it. If I was Superman, it could see through it.
You don't have to look at that. I'll do all the talking.
Well,
no, it's crazy. The base is what has rebelled here, and they can take me as a stand-in for the base, but that's all I am, a member of the base.
No, well, that's very modest. I mean, you said today, this is your tweet when Trump capitulated on the wall. He said, "Good news for Herbert Walker Bush. As of today, he is no longer the biggest wimp ever to serve as president." So, let me get this straight. You were convinced that Donald Trump was the guy. You voted for him, Donald Trump.
Correct.
And now you're finding out he's a lying con man. What was your first clue? I mean...
Okay, this is the thing. Not only, and you haven't even... Oh, okay, I'm a very stupid girl, fine. But that was actually a selling point with Trump. I mean, you can make fun of me for also writing, "In Trump we trust, e pluribus awesome." Look, we've been lied to over and over and over again by politicians, by respectable people, by people like Mitt Romney and George Bush, Obama and Clinton. We're going to protect your jobs.
Not to the same
And
degree.
if I could just say for a second to an audience that is not wild about me, I think this build the wall line has become, I mean, it sounds like Crooked Hillary or lock her up. It isn't that. You're being played. This is, as Bernie Sanders said, a Koch brothers idea. This is lots of cheap labor pouring into this country is good for employers. It's not good for employees. You know who wants it? The Koch brothers.
Yeah.
They want it. Rupert Murdoch wants it.
Yeah.
My party wants it. Why hasn't Trump been able to get it through the first 2 years?
The point is that the
because
wall
the
won't stop
Republicans
that.
don't want it. It's all of mass immigration. It's our legal immigration. It's no E-Verify. The wall is a big part of that.
But the reason...
And you're being played to have everybody keep acting like this is some sort of racist thing.
Well,
working class wages have gone down. Middle class wages have been stagnant. It's great for the rich. It's good for you.
But
it's bad for people who work.
Okay, but the point was the wall won't stop that.
Of course it will.
Of course it won't. Most people who come here from Mexico don't come
for
through
jobs?
the border. They come for jobs. They come on a plane and then just stay.
That's absolutely not true. And if you say walls don't work, tell it to Netanyahu.
But
they
that's
built
a whole
wall.
that's a different...
It's not a different thing at all. They built a wall.
Yes.
Illegal immigration went to zero.
They built a wall to stop suicide bombers. I've never...
No.
My gardener has not once tried to blow me up.
That was only on the... That's not true. No, that's not true.
Okay. All right.
That's absolutely
What
right. They built two walls.
But wait,
Northern side, Gaza side.
I agree those walls worked.
Southern side was to stop African illegal immigrants coming in and taking jobs. Went from a huge problem to zero illegal immigrants.
All right. And Mexico will pay for it? What happened to that promise?
I wonder myself what happened, but I will say in his defense, look, in Trump's defense, he never said they would prepay for it. He explained very clearly how it would be done. He said it would be done. Well, he didn't.
Well, now we're...
he laid this out very clearly. He said we would tax remittances. Mexicans in this country, both legal and illegal, send back $25 billion every year. Every year. That's enough for the full wall. You put a 10% tax on that, as he recommended, and he put it in his immigration policy paper. In 10 years, you've paid for a $25 billion wall.
Okay, but today he was talking about how we never said it was a wall from coast to coast. That's exactly what he said.
I agree.
You know, first it was a wall, then it was a fence, then it was just, I guess, cones, you know.
No,
and then I think...
By now, it's a gentle little garden trellis.
I think maybe thoughts and prayers is what we're up to. Just See if we can get thoughts and prayers to work for that. But let me just ask you about his state of mind. He said the other day, he said, I see a lot of the Democrats, almost all of them. This just speaks to his mind. And this is what I want to ask you why you like this guy. Like, he's starting with a giant lie that the Democrats, the end of the quote is, are breaking. I see a lot of the Democrats, almost all of them, are breaking, saying, look, walls are good, walls are good. No Democrats are saying that. That's exactly the opposite of their position. Their leader said it's an immorality. So he starts with a lie. I see a lot of the Dems. He's in the middle of his own sentence when he then goes, almost all of them. You see? He builds on his own lie from 2 seconds before. He is not fucking sane.
You know...
He is not a sane person. Really. He convinces himself of his own reality. That is so dangerous.
You'd sit down, tell me that, oh, he's so coarse, he's so vulgar, he makes things up.
No.
Yeah, I went into this fully clear-eyed. Again, we liked that about him because respectable people who listen to NPR...
You like someone who doesn't live in reality?
Because I thought, we thought that he wouldn't care what the elites thought, and he'd actually keep his promises on this. And by the way, in fact, Nancy Pelosi did say we need a barrier at the border. Chuck Schumer did. Obama said it over and over again.
They certainly weren't talking about that.
But they decided, no, let's suck up to Wall Street, and they want cheap nannies. And the Republicans said, let's suck up to Chamber of Commerce. We want cheap nannies. All of you are being screwed. By the way, cheap labor isn't so bad for me. I'm not as rich as he is, but I'm not doing badly. My landscaping is beautiful. There is not a bit of slime on my pool. It's good for me, but I care about my fellow Americans
not in the
and
pool.
the working class.
But he
doesn't come to my pool.
I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you in bed tonight. Tonight, I'll be Kellyanne, and you be George Conway. We'll switch it up. Okay. So he also said this week, I know more about technology than anybody. Now, this is an insane person. I mean, how can we move forward with an insane person?
No, I find his puffery really charming. I mean, that's hardly the stupidest thing.
And if Obama did that, it would be okay?
He said he had the best words. He said he's the most Christian person. That he could be more presidential than Lincoln. I could go on and on and on. It makes me laugh. That's fine. I like that about him. Just keep your promise, and I'm right back in his camp.
Okay. So let me ask you about the other big story today. Roger Stone was arrested. I would agree with you, it was an over-the-top arrest. But, you know, what about the lie? You say you're okay with these fun lies.
That's not a lie. It's puffery. It's exaggeration. No one, when he says, I have the best words, no one thinks, oh, yeah, this guy must have the best words.
It's an insane clinical narcissist, but okay, that shouldn't be present. But okay, give you that one. What about lies that really matter? Like we found out that every time he said, and we've all seen the clips on the news where he said, I had no contact with Russia, nothing, we stayed away, we know that that's a plain lie. That's a kind of a consequential lie, isn't it? Now that we know he was trying to build a tower in Moscow up until the election.
I don't think we know any of this, and I don't think it matters.
That's a fact.
Hillary Clinton paid, through her campaign, $30 million to Russian officials to get dirt on Trump. If,
she did? Well, I missed that story.
No, you didn't. It's the whole fusion GPS story. She paid that to get Russian dirt on Trump. If she's going to be walking around having malts, then I really don't want to hear about Trump having a deal.
She didn't pay Russia. She wasn't working with Russia. He is working with a foreign adversary.
No evidence. This is so insane.
Of course there's evidence. Mueller has 37...
I'm telling you how to get Trump. He promised something for 18 months, and he lied about it. That's how you get Trump. It's not this Russia nonsense. You are so wasting time.
Well, okay. You know, I remember your boyfriend, Ronald Reagan, saying... Russia was an evil empire. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down the wall. What do you think Ronald Reagan would think right now?
I think he would
about us being so cozy.
I won the Cold War. What is with these lunatics? It's not the Soviet Union anymore.
But we didn't win it. It's still.
We did win it.
But it's still Russia.
No, so what? It's not the Soviet Union. We are not living under the threat of nuclear annihilation.
The president,
it's over. Now Russia is just a normally corrupt
country. The president is a traitor who is in their camp.
Saudi Arabia.
Okay. Today, Venezuela. This is the front page of the New York Times today. Venezuela, okay? They have a guy, an opposition leader who finally stood up, and we are backing him. And Russia warned us to back off because they're backing the dictator. This was the Monroe Doctrine. This is our backyard. And Russia is now telling us to back off of what goes on in Venezuela because they know they can, because they're so emboldened. That doesn't bother you? You're the patriot?
Well, I'm not just the patriot, as you said. I'm also the Donald Trump advisor, and I'm also telling him to back off because you know what is more in our backyard than even Venezuela? Texas, Arizona, California. Can we care about those states and what's being done to them?
It always gets back to hating Mexicans, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. It gets back to loving Americans.
All right.
It gets back to, look, I'm not a union, bookkeeper. I don't work at Wendy's. I'm not a roofer or a
Is
drywaller.
Trump going to declare...
They're the ones who are being screwed over.
Is Trump going to declare a national emergency?
He doesn't need to. He's the president.
No, but he said in 3 weeks. What's he going to do?
Someone has got to read a constitution to him. He's the commander-in-chief. His job is to defend the border.
Last question. A lot of people are saying you should be the one to run for president. Would you do that?
I'm against women working, so I can't.
Ann Coulter, everybody. Ann Coulter, let the jousting begin. Thank you. All right. I'm sorry I won't see you later. Yes, call me. Okay.